Greetings, Space Engineers, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 1. At the end of the last season, you will remember that we went ahead and we were able to identify how to land our craft, how to set up renewable energy, how to mine, and how to basically set up our base so it was usable on the Earth planet. And what we're going to do now is go through what needs to be done to leave the Earth planet. So you'll see here, as you can see, we're basically at the same point we were at the end of last season. We have our existing landing craft that's been turned into a base, but you can choose to do otherwise. We have our mining ship here that we use for mining materials and resources here on the planet. And if we look over here, we have our solar arrays and stuff like that. I appreciate everybody's support and patience over the time between the two seasons. We've had some significant upgrades and a bit of downtime, and hopefully this will really assist with everybody, because now everything's just so much easier and better, and the graphics are far better as well. The first thing we're going to go through before we start anything is, if you've got the resources, go up to your main cargo area and go into the control panel. Go into production and click on the tools section here. So you click on the assembler and then click tools. And what we're going to do, you won't be able to get elite, but you can get the proficient series of tools. And if you haven't done so, click on one of them and create the proficient welder and the proficient hand drill and the proficient grinder. What this is going to allow us to do is essentially use more tools that are much more proficient, if that makes sense. They're going to do things a lot quicker, they're going to take less energy to do it, they're just far better, and you'll find you'll cut down the amount of time you spend building by about 2/3, and when you get to elite it's even greater than that. What we're also going to do is, another change is, we are shortcutting some of the key components to reduce the time. So here is the ship that we're going to use to leave the Earth. I'm going to go step by step through the ship. Half of it's been built, the other half hasn't, and we'll build the other half as we need to, but it will shorten down the video very significantly. So obviously it's a small ship. You want to put down your landing gear first of all. Once your landing gear is done, put on top of it your medium cargo container, and then on either side of the medium cargo container you want to put your conveyor junctions. With the first set of blocks that come on the base above the landing gear, make sure that all the blocks have a large vent, a port at the forward and backwards, and the small port on the left and right. That's really important for later on, you'll see how that is. So we're going to have a medium cargo container and then the conveyor junction. The cargo containers you're aware won't have any ports at top or bottom, which makes it perfect to put the landing gear on top, but the conveyor junctions do. So we're going to have medium cargo container, conveyor junction, medium cargo container, conveyor junction, and at the very back you're going to put the connector. The connector is obviously what we use to transfer mined resources when we're in space to our spaceship or space platform or station, whatever you want to make. That will make it easy to get our resources out to our large area. This is only a small ship and will only have enough resources being held of a small ship capacity. Once you've got these series of units put in place, these blocks, then above the conveyor junction at the front we want to put in the cockpit. And to the front of the cockpit, on that little port at the front of the cockpit, we want to put an air vent. If you look, there's our air vent. Behind the cockpit you want to put your oxygen tank. Now if you look at your oxygen tank, when you go to put it in, you'll notice that one end will have a large port, which is the back end, that doesn't connect to anything here, and the other end will have two small ports, and the small ports actually connect into the cockpit nicely. And what will happen is the cockpit will fill up with oxygen first, but this air vent we will set to depressurize, and that will fill up the cockpit, and then once the cockpit's full it'll start filling up the oxygen tank. So what we're doing, while we're on the planet Earth or any planet or any location that has an atmosphere, it will draw free oxygen for us. We won't need to use some of our precious ice. The next thing we're going to do behind it is a medium cargo container. The medium cargo container is there, and there. We want 3 of them as a minimum. The reason why we want 3 is a small ship and we need to take enough resources once we're in space to be able to start our our large block ship or station. It needs to be able to have enough resources in there that we can build a refinery, an assembler, a connector, and some sort of power source, be it battery or be it reactor. Okay, so on this side, as you can see, this is all pre-built. What we've got here is, first thing you're going to do is you're going to put in a hydrogen tank, and the hydrogen tank is going to connect into that port here of the medium cargo container. Now the other thing we're going to do is, and there's a reason for this, we're going to put small hydrogen thrusters at the front, the sides, and the back. So there's your front, there's your side, and the back. And then underneath the hydrogen tank, we're going to put a large hydrogen thruster at the bottom. So there's going to be two large to push our vehicle up. There's going to be two small to push forwards, two small to push back, one small on the left and one small on the right for sideways. And then if we go up, we're also going to put on top of here oxygen generator, and we're also going to put in two small hydrogen thrusters at the top. So essentially you're going to have four small hydrogen thrusters pushing down, two large pushing up, and then a variety of smalls in between. The other thing we're going to do is, you can see here we've got a small conveyor tube that connects into the large hydrogen thruster. This should work without any problems for getting hydrogen and ice from the connector and or the cargo hold, but if it doesn't, this connector will do this here. So this small conveyor tube will convey between the conveyor junction here and the large hydrogen thruster and route the ice up there, so that will then fill up with ice, and the ice will give it the hydrogen it needs. So essentially what we need to do, is kind of weird the way it's set up, but we're going to put ice into the conveyor junction or the cargo containers. They're going to route the ice up through here, through there, to the oxygen generators. The oxygen generator is going to then do two things. First of all, if we have the capacity for storing any of it, it's going to create oxygen from the ice and put it into the oxygen tank, which should be full by this point because we've already deploying, we're using the air vent to fill up the oxygen. Then what the oxygen generators will also do is grab the hydrogen and fill up the hydrogen tanks. We will need two hydrogen tanks, and you will need one oxygen generator per hydrogen tank. If you don't have these in place, you will not have enough hydrogen to get off the planet. If you notice, there is no atmospheric thrusters on this ship. This is done on purpose. This is to save weight. The more weight that we save and the more energy we save, obviously the easier it is for the ship to get off the planet. So we want to minimize as much weight as we can and maximize as much cargo we're taking. So what we're going to do now, and the other thing I've done, as you can see, I created a cargo container here, and if we hit F there, you can see all of our cargo and stuff like that I've put into this small cargo container. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get 100 of each of these items that we probably will need, and we're going to start building our hydrogen tank. So here's our hydrogen tank. We're going to put that hydrogen tank here. We may need to adjust the, there we go, and we'll build this up. And we need large steel tubes and small steel tubes. That's okay, we can get them in just a second. Okay. So we need, we'll get for okay, and let's finish this off. I need 40 small steel tubes. Okay, I thought I got 40 small steel tubes here. Small steel tubes. Why is it not taking it? Oh, it needs 40 large. Okay. I apologize about that. I am just getting myself over from a flu, and it's obviously knocking me about a little bit. Okay. So now we have our two hydrogen tanks built. I'm going to give you a quick heads up. Have a look what's directly under the hydrogen tank. Anything underneath it is going to go. So it'll be destroyed. So this is like no more than 4 iron here, 4 steel plates. We can manage that. If it's that precious, you can then go ahead and you can like delete it like this, put it back into your system. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. So the next thing we're going to need is thrusters. So let's go for 9. And we need steel plate construction. So you can see why I put this cargo container here, because it just allows me, that should be enough to start. Okay. And make sure you get it lined up. If it's not lined up, it's going to be mongrel. Remember what we talked about before, some of the guys have been referencing the fact it's hard to see where it's located. Change the colors, and if you need to rotate it around, you can see by changing the colors by the square bracket or by P, it might make it a bit easier to work out where it is. Okay, so there it is there. I'm going to need 22 metal grids, so let's just arc this up. I'm going to get some metal grids. And what we'll do is we'll go 9, we'll go 8 actually, 9, and we'll put one here, put one there, we'll put one there, get these going, construction, metal grids and steel plate. Okay. Let's finish this off. So remember, it's currently yellow simply because we were using that color to identify it's in its correct location. We can change these back later on to a different color, but sometimes changing the color just allows you that difference that you can then see where it is, because it can be difficult when these high level of graphics look through the transparency and making sure it's lined up properly. So we're just about done with this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put in our oxygen generator. So we're going to hit X, space up. We're going to go 5, oxygen tank. Now for you, that's what we want. Oxygen generator, there we go. And make sure the large port is facing down, obviously. There we go. And we're going to put oxygen generator there and fire that up. We're going to need more construction, more large steel tubes, and more computers. Okay. So more construction. Okay, that should be enough. And then we're also going to put in 2 small. There we go. 2 small hydrogen thrusters up here, one there, and because these are all interconnected, these will get the hydrogen through the conveyor system as it needs. Keep an eye on our hydrogen, that's good, we've got enough there in our current jetpack. Now, currently, if I wanted to, I can land on the hydrogen thruster, but when we actually get the hydrogen in the ice formed into hydrogen, we need more metal grids, of course. It will actually hurt you, so don't do that once you get it going. More metal grid, that would be good enough. So we're almost there. We got a couple more little things to do in just a second before we're ready to go. Okay, so on this side you're also going to see we have a large reactor. You could put a second one on the other side if you have the resources. You don't need to, but sometimes it helps because you can then go into it later on, pull it apart, and then use it to put somewhere else. We have a gyroscope here, and we also have an antenna. Now on the other side we're going to put another gyroscope, but we're not going to put another antenna, we're going to put ore detector. So if you're wondering why did we not put the small hydrogen thrusters down here, is because if we did, it would destroy anything we had there. And you can see also here we have a drill. So we're going to put a second drill on the other side. So let's go ahead on this side now, and let's put in our second drill. Once we find it, there we go. So we're going to apply our second drill here and making sure it's lined up correctly. There we go. We'll put that in, we need more construction. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put in gyroscope there, and we're also going to put in an ore detector. Let's see, do we have an ore detector in place here? We're looking for the ore detector. 5. Okay, there we go. Now, just a refresher, if you're new to this, if you haven't done so already, you can use the control keys and the number 1. So hold down the control key, number 1, 2, 3, 4, and it'll give you multiple options to jump. And then if you need to have something in the quick links bar at the bottom, what you can also do is go to a blank one, like I have a control 6 and hit G. Find what you're looking for, and if you're not sure, just type it up top where it says search, WHEEL, and there's wheels, and you can right click on it and it will boom. You can also drag and drop by holding your left mouse button and drag it out, and right click on the 5 down here and it will remove it. So literally just drag down to where you want it, or right click and it'll put in the next available slot. And that's simple as that. So we need construction parts, and we need construction components. So let's go and get more construction components. Okay, and we're just about done. There's a couple little things we need to do, but that's pretty close. Now, we may not have enough construction components to do the other 2. And what I grabbed, needs detector there, and computers. Good, that one's good. So we need 1 detector. So as you can see, it's pretty symmetrical. Detector components, there we go. And symmetrical is great because it means that the load balance is good. The only thing that's heavy on the left side and the right is going to the fact it's got a reactor just here, but that's not a big deal. So what we can do now, the next step is we're going to get some ice. Come on. There we go. We're going to unload all this, put as much ice as we can. Do we have ice? There we go. And we're going to put it just here. We're going to dump the ice in there. We should be able to get close enough. There we go. And we should be able to... Nope. Okay. And you watch, they'll disappear, and then when we type in ice up here, you can see it's in the oxygen generator. Now we should have 2 oxygen generators. So we type in oxygen up here. What we can do is we can go like this, and then put oxygen generator in there like that. So now it's utilizing both oxygen generators, and we're just going to a little bit more ice, and just dump as much ice as we can in here. And the reason for that is obviously that is now taking our ice and converting it into hydrogen, which we should see in those hydrogen tanks in a minute. They should see those little markers up here. They should start going here, F there, and go into control panel, and we type in hydrogen. There we go, tank small. There we go, we're at 10% each. Okay, so we're getting hydrogen here. We will want to basically consume all that ice and fill up the hydrogen tanks with hydrogen before we connect this ship up to the main station. So we're going to need to do 2 more things beforehand. This is almost ready to go. You can see now the hydrogen thrusters are working. There's nothing here. This will appear at around 25%, 50%, 75%, 100%. Bear with me for a second. We'll just get that last bit of ice in here. What I'm going to do now is I'm just about to finish off this video. But what we'll do is we'll take some motors, we'll take some construction, small steel tubes, and that should be good. Glass display, there we go. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to do this real quick. We're going to go control 1, 2, 3, Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, let's just do this then. G, conveyor. And we're going to say conveyor tubes. We're going to put some conveyor tubes and connect up this cargo container here to the ship. So we're going to go conveyor tube there. We're going to turn this around like that. And then that's good. And then what we do is we go 1. And we need construction components. So let's go F and we'll get some construction components. And we'll material plate, of course. And so you can see what I'm doing here is I'm just connecting this up. And what we'll do now is we've got X here. Oh, not that one. We want to do this one here. So this one here closest, we're going to take this out. And we're going to connect this up to here. And 6 and 3. Conveyor tubes, what we want. We need more construction. And so basically what we're doing is we're going to connect this all up to here, and then we're going to move this ship and we're going to land it probably over here. We'll then take this ship, as you can see it's got at least 25% but less than 50 because of the green marker right there. We're going to take this ship up and we're actually going to connect it in here, and then what we'll do is we'll take all of this information, these resources here in the small cargo container, and we're going to transfer it over to this ship there. Now just to give you a heads up, look at the when you go to do this, look at the volume here. See, this holds 156,000 liters of cargo and currently has 106,000. okay, so that's a small large block cargo container. The medium block small cargo containers, if we go F into there, go to a medium cargo container, they hold 33,000. So right now we've got 100,000 worth of cargo and this holds 33,000 each. So we should be able to fill all 3 cargo containers up plus a little bit in the connector. You also will have the ability to store stuff in the drills, but that's for ore. So if you got ores, you can put them in the drill. And the other thing you can do is also store stuff in your cockpit. Here we go. This will hold 10,000 kilos of cockpit. In the cockpit. So I'm just going to finish this here. This is Commander Noodles signing off, and when we come to episode 2 of season 2, we are then going to go and leave planet Earth. There is a specific way to use hydrogen thrusters to leave planet Earth, and we're going to go through how to do that effectively, so when you get into space you have enough hydrogen to break free of the gravity of the planet, and also you have enough hydrogen to then find more ice on asteroids. So stay tuned. Thank you guys for being so patient. As I said, we've had a lot of changes, a lot of updates. You see the quality of the graphics are far improved, and season 2 episode 2 will be following very shortly. This is Commander Noodles signing out.